Well, hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Wine Wednesday. I'm Alex.
And I'm James.
And today we're throwing it back to my Scandinavian roots with Johan Vineyard. I was born in Denmark, most of my family's Swedish, but this is a Norwegian family that planted this vineyard.
Cool.
And it is in the Van Duzer corridor. So the coolest, or one of the coolest growing regions in the Willamette Valley. It's a region where it sits just east of the lowest pass over the Coast Range. So part of a lot of the vineyards we work with are actually higher elevation than the highest, or higher elevation than the lowest part of this pass. And every day during the growing season, really, especially in the summer, the valley heats up and the pressure differential pulls in cool coastal air into the Willamette Valley. There's several of these passes, but the Van Duzer corridor is the most intense and extreme one. So it gets super windy, cools down really quickly, and some of the last fruit to be picked in the Willamette Valley.
Yeah, and these guys are pretty rad. It's biodynamic, right?
Yeah.
So they're really tuned into the farming side of it. Definitely a cooler climate site because of that coastal influence. And that really translates into the kind of fruit it produces. Very like acid driven.
A really like funky, earthy, like just smelling like a lot of intensity. I can smell the wine from down here. And a lot of like kind of reductive, cool, intriguing.
Very fresh.
Yeah. And this is a lot of clone 943, actually mostly 943, which is, if you remember the Claudius episode, it's a clone that doesn't produce a lot of crop. It has a lot of small seedless berries. So you end up with a lot of skin to juice ratio and darker color. And that combined with the Van Duzer corridor's kind of thick skins already, you get a very dark Pinot Noir.
Yeah.
And fairly age-worthy wines.
And the 2021 Johan Vineyard Pinot Noir did receive a 94-point score from Owen Bargren, which is kind of why we're tasting in front of our display case here. This is a place where we leave older bottles that we've tried over the years, some of our favorites, or some other wines that were actually produced in this facility historically. It's just something that we like to celebrate, the excellence in winemaking here in Oregon.
Yeah, and not our highest score ever, but
it's noteworthy.
It did surprise me a little bit that this one scored that well. But tasting it now, I'm like, there's so much density of flavor, and it's got a really long finish. So objectively, that's what a lot of critics are looking for.
And this has it.
Yeah, and it's like kind of dark, powerful, brooding. Would go well with, I'm thinking like roasted lamb.
Yeah, like grilled vegetables too.
Yeah.
To go with that freshness this provides.
Yeah. I had some tomato and burrata yesterday, and that might actually be really good with this. Just smeared the burrata on toast and then tossed the tomatoes, like fresh cherry tomatoes, in olive oil, balsamic, and basil. Really good. We should give a little shout out to Crosby at Gathering Together Farm for giving us all those vegetable starts.
Oh yeah. Yeah, my garden is popping now.
Yeah, really cool vineyard. Biodynamic farming, which is kind of like a mystical, like homeopathic, astrological, organic farming. And if you're following everything in biodynamics, one, you're not spraying anything bad. I mean, the guidelines are even stricter than organic. And two, you're paying a lot of attention to your vineyard. So even if you don't believe in some of the other tenets of biodynamics, there's a lot to believe in and a lot to love. And the Van Duzer winds too, they do help. Like if it rains, it dries out the grapes really quickly, so you don't get as much disease pressure. The thick skins really resist powdery mildew well, and botrytis, which is gray mold, that comes later closer towards harvest. Then you end up with a lot of hang time to develop flavor before your sugar and acid tell you that you need to pick the grapes. And really, when we are deciding when to harvest, we obviously do look at some chemistry, but the main thing we're looking for is flavor in the grapes. So James and I, we eat a lot of grapes during harvest.
This was so peppery, like earlier in its life, and that seemed to like really mellow out.
Yeah, I wonder, like the kind of gamey, like fruity parts of the wine have grown up around the pepper and come out.
Yeah, like this is done really well with time.
Yeah, and is doing really well with swirling and some oxygen. So if you're drinking this wine right now, I would suggest decanting it.
Yeah.
There's one that can probably age really well. And I don't know if this wine is out in any markets. So the best place to get it, as usual with a lot of our smaller production wines, would be here or in Portland.
So come visit us.
Please.
Please.
Thank you for joining us for another Wine Wednesday. Nailed it. That was maybe our best one ever. How does my favorite, dude?
That is a red flag, though.
Fullerton Wines does not condone her behavior.
My wife's gonna love that we were talking about Love Island.